Alright, in this video, I am gonna just talk about things. It might be a rant video. It could be about narcissists as well, however you want to put it. I put off doing this video because I wasn't sure if I wanted to do a video on this because I wasn't sure I needed to. Um, but it kind of keeps happening, so I'm just like, maybe I should do a video about it. Um, I spoke a little bit about it. I don't really go into the entire thing because it's kind of drawn out and very confusing to talk about, so I don't really talk about it. I have mentioned dating sites and narcissists. I've talked about that in length, lots of videos about that. And, in this video, I'm just going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about it. Um, I've talked about cryptic messages from your narcissist. I've talked about that. I've talked about narcissists like to throw out these messages to you and they want you to kind of figure it out. They want you to be the one who confronts them and brings up what the hell's going on type thing. And it's very unusual because sometimes these cryptic messages you analyze it, right? You analyze it and you're like, wow, why why, that's very telling, right? It's very telling. But what's it about? Why? For what reason, right? Because, like, this is the deal. I have done a lot of experimenting with my ex boyfriend on dating sites because I went through an issue 3 years ago. Kind of a crazy situation. And it upset me. It also made me very scared. It also made me very watchful. And I actually had to get rid of one of my social media accounts that I was very happy on, and I had to delete it, but literally delete one of my social media accounts because of the situation. And it bothered me a lot. It really pissed me off a lot because I could have just stayed on it and kept on doing what I was doing. But I didn't like the fact that I was getting so many personal messages, like direct messages, whatever, from people I didn't know. Um, and it kind of correlated with what was going on the dating site. It was very weird. And I was like, this is weird. And I just said, you know what? I'm going to stop. When you are involved or have an ex who's a narcissist, all right, um, you really have to watch, what they know because they will. I had to delete one of my social media accounts that I was very happy on. I was on there for about 5 years, and I had to get rid of it. I was upset. People were like, "What happened to you? Why did you go?" I mean, everybody was very pissed off about it. I was pissed off about it. And but this is what happens when, somehow they get your information. On there, I have to create fake names. I can't use my real name. I can't use my real name. I have to create fake ones because if I use my real name, and this isn't just for my ex narcissist. I don't really want to be found by people. I really don't. I tried doing that in the very beginning. When I first started doing social media sites, I created one with my real name. I did my whole name, my real name. And I started getting friend requests, people I went to high school with that I didn't ever want to talk to again in my life. And you'd be surprised, people that want to talk, people want to be your friend. It's like, I didn't talk to you 30 years ago. Am I going to talk to you now? Like, it's not going to happen. So I don't like the whole people finding you thing because there's some people I just don't want to talk to. And I don't go on there to connect with family members or anyone in real life. I go on there mainly for funny shit, things that I like, and it's about things that I like. My music, my movies, what interests me. I'm not on there to I'm not on there to make anybody else happy or to have to watch what I say about stuff, because there's a lot of, people that don't agree with you and they start fights and debates and you got to argue with them, and you hurt their feelings, you step on their their snowflake toes, and you have to like watch everything you say. So I don't do that anymore. I don't do that anymore. I used to do that and I wasn't happy, because you're trying to make everybody else happy. You're not making yourself happy. You got to watch what you say, watch what you post. Some people like this, some people don't like that. And so you actually, for me, you have to make two accounts, because you have to have one for people that, you're friends with, and one for yourself. And that's basically what I've had to do, because having it together, having just one together wasn't working for me. So I didn't, I couldn't do that. But I'm not on there for that. If anybody that I want to talk to is already in my life, okay, I'm not looking to go out and make new friends, or, you know what I mean? People who are meaningful to me are already in my life. If you're not in my life now, it doesn't mean I don't want to be in your life. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that it's not nice to see old friends. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that it's not nice to talk to someone from 30 years ago that you maybe lost touch with. I'm not saying that. Then, then you have to kind of sort, kind of like find them on your own thing, you know. But when you're on these social media sites, all of a sudden you get like messages from people that you really don't want to talk to. It's very uncomfortable, because then you feel like you kind of have to talk to them, or you have to say okay, and then it becomes uncomfortable. And I don't like that. I don't want to have to be forced into having to have a conversation with someone that I don't want to have a conversation with. But that's kind of what Facebook. It's kind of like what those it kind of does, So I don't do that. So getting back into the whole thing with the narcissist and dating sites and stuff like that, I played along. I'm not gonna lie. I created accounts. I made really good names, really genius, really genius names, profile names, and I experimented with my ex narcissist, and I played along with him. I'm not gonna lie, I did. I played along. I played with him on there, and it was crazy, because even though I know he was on there, I knew it. Despite him being in a quote unquote live-in relationship, I was wrong. I thought, no, it's not him. He's living with someone. It's not him. I was wrong. It didn't matter that he was living with someone. He was still on there playing these games with profiles, making up fake ones, creating new names, creating fake ones as other people to chat to. I don't even know why. I don't understand it myself. I've gone through it in my mind. And the thing is, this is a problem that's really weird, right? Because you don't want to tell people about, like, I don't talk about this with anybody. Um, because it's a very kind of like weird, embarrassing thing. People think that you're strange. They're like, well, then why do you go on there? Most of the time when I used to open up about this to friends, and like I said before, nobody knows I do these videos. The only people that know I do these videos are a few of my quote unquote Facebook friends, and that's it. My family members don't know I do this. None of my close friends don't know I do this. This is just like an online friend thing that I do with just people that I know from online. That's it. Um, because it's awkward to talk about this, because they're like, well, then why do you go on there? And people will say, you go on there the same reason that you go on there is why he goes on there. Like you guys are just playing games with each other. Like what? Like why? And then I had to think about it. I thought about it. I'm like, well, is there something else? Because people have said like, look, you guys must still like each other. You guys must still want to be together because why don't you guys just leave each other alone, right? And I thought about that. I thought about it because I was to blame too, you know, but I wasn't looking for him because I was wanting to really talk. It was more as to find out if it was really him that was doing it. It wasn't a romantic type thing, it really wasn't. It was more like, is it you that's doing this to me or is it somebody else? My ex knew, I explained to him through email messaging and stuff like that, what I was going through because I was really scared. I thought I had like a stalker. I really thought I had a stalker and it freaked me out. And you think, kind of, after being with me for so long and no longer caring about me, but because he cared about me a long time ago, he would be like, oh no, she needs my help. I better answer her message. I better tell her that it's just me that's doing this so she doesn't like freak out or. But instead of just telling me if it was him or not, he chose to ignore me and still give me the silent treatment. He still chose to ignore me despite me being upset, despite me being very scared, afraid. He didn't care about my well being, didn't care about my feelings, about my well being, my feelings, anything. He still chose to ignore me despite the whole thing. He knew the entire story. I contacted him to tell him about the whole thing that was going on with me because there were people that I had talked to on there. And I didn't know if it was them that was doing it, which I never gave these people my name. I don't use my name on dating sites. So the entire thing was really freaky. It was a real freaky situation. I never got I never got my answer. And because it's been unanswered all these years, it still makes me very curious. I'm still very curious. Was it you? Was it who was it who was doing this to me? And I don't know exactly like why my ex narcissist chooses to do this to me. I don't know why he just doesn't talk to me. That's the part that is completely senseless. Because if my ex narcissist really wanted to just talk to me, why doesn't he just talk to me under his real alias? Why does he have to create fake profiles to do it? And that's what I don't understand. Now, this is a person who's in a long-term relationship, a quote-unquote live-in, if you want to call it a relate. I don't really call it relationships with you, whatever you want to call it, situations. I call it situations. He's in a situation, a live-in situation. So why would he be online on a dating site, making up fake profiles to talk to me? What is the answer for that? Does anybody have a rational answer for that? Because I've gone up and down with my mind, and it's caused me to like say to myself, is there something wrong with me? Because it's really, well, I do go on there. And that's what like everyone says to me, well, don't go on there. And he won't do it. If you don't make the situation possible, then he can't contact you. And he's going to have to contact you through a different way. And that will be the only way, through being himself. The problem with this is my ex narcissist knows my feelings. He knows I don't like him. He knows about the silent treatment that he gave me many years ago. Look, the silent treatment The silent treatment that he has given me all these past years of me and him being broken up has done nothing but hurt him. That's it. It has not helped him in any way, shape, or form. It's just hurt him because it's made me dislike him more and more and more and more and more. My question is, why doesn't he just stop with the fake names, the profiles? Why doesn't he just move on with his life? He's in a live-in situation. Why why do this? What's the problem? Now, because I asked this question, people have accused me of still liking my ex-boyfriend, my ex-narcissist. They've said, you must still like your ex-narcissist. They've said you must still like him because you wouldn't care and you wouldn't go on there if if you still didn't like your ex-narcissist. And I said, well, I don't think it's a matter of liking anybody. I was really scared a few years ago that I had a friggin' stalker. And I don't think that's liking. Like doesn't have anything to do with that. Me going on there has nothing to do with it, with whether or not I like him or not. I was trying to I just wanted an answer. I just wanted to find out who the hell it was. That's all I wanted. And none of the people, this is the thing too, it's kind of funky. None of the people that it could have been are on there anymore. I can't find even those people to even ask them. So, and if they are, they don't have pictures up. So I can't even find them because there's no photos and not just that. This was going on for years. This was like 3 or 4 years ago. Maybe 3 years ago. Um, they're not even on there. And they might be on there. They're just not using their real names and their photos because like I said, on these dating sites, nobody really uses their real name. Some people do. Some guys do. I have talked to a bunch of people in the past that were real and they used their real name. They had their real town on there and they were real. Completely real. Not everybody is on there looking to play games and, do all that stuff. The mischief, which I talk about a lot, the mischief that's on there. Not all guys are into that. Narcissists are, of course, but not regular guys. But my question is, like, I don't think this is a matter of still liking anybody just because I go on there because I'm curious to find out who the hell that was. It's almost like it's almost like someone who went missing. You never really stop looking for the person, right? Because you're like, I want to know where the hell they are, right? And that's the way it is for me. It's like, I want to know who the hell that was who was, you know, doing all those stalkings. I would find all kinds of shit. Like one time he made up I don't know if it was him or not. It was like a screen name with his favorite band. It was something like his favorite band and our names together. Some shit. It was weird. Like it was some weird stuff. And I'm like, there's no one that knows his favorite band, like his favorite musical bands. And it was like our names were together with his favorite music band. It was something like that. This was like 3 years ago this happened. And at this time of these profiles appearing, he was in a live-in situation with someone while these profiles were appearing on this dating site. So I was like, who's doing this? I was like, it can't be him. He's in a live-in situation. Okay. But it didn't matter. After I found out, see, I didn't know that he was in a situation. I had no idea he was with anybody. I assumed he was with somebody because, like I said, narcissists can't be single for more than a few weeks. So I already assumed, yes, there is someone that he's with. But I didn't know until I had to do a little digging and then I was like, oh, okay, he's in a situation. And I thought, well, then who's making up these weird profiles then? And I'm like, maybe it is him that's still doing it. Maybe being in a live-in situation to him doesn't stop him from playing games with me. Whereas with regular people, they wouldn't still be playing games with their exes if they're in a live-in situation. See what I'm saying? Narcissists will. They do. Because like I said, narcissists need that supply from you, even though they're in a live-in situation. That's not enough. That ain't enough. It ain't enough for them. But recently, I started to feel like it's not, the games are still happening. Like I thought the games were over. I really did. I thought the games were kind of over, and now um I think the games were never really over. And it's really weird. I'm not going to talk about it because it's kind of strange, but I don't think that the games are over. So, my question is, why would a narcissist in a live in situation be making up fake profiles to continue talking to me? This is weird because it's kind of odd, because like he'll say things to me that are very similar to what I say on here. It's kind of fucked up. It's kind of creepy. Because like people know, like a lot of people know, like I said, not many people know the things that I say. I do this on here as like shits and giggles type thing, but like I say that I'm addicted to Coke, which I am. I am. I have to have soda. I have to have a soda every day, a Coca-Cola, or I get a massive migraine headache. I'm addicted to the caffeine. So if I don't have caffeine, and it's not even tea or coffee, it has to be Coke, because the Coke caffeine is different than the one in the coffee. I don't know why, but that's true. So I have to have my soda. If I don't get my soda every day, I will get a massive migraine headache. It's called a caffeine withdrawal, and it sucks. So this person supposedly is also addicted to it, and I'm like, this is kind of crazy. How can that be? Something right with that? Um, there's been a lot of parallels that have been finding that make me think, what the hell's going on here? You know what I mean? And I just don't understand. I want to understand, and that's why I'm doing this video, because I really, 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 really want to understand, but I just don't. And I don't know why things have to be so weird. Like, if my ex narcissist wanted to be friends with me, and he does this with these fake names because he just wants to be my friend. And then, like I say, I'm not talking about the kind of friend that goes out and drinks and has a beer and, I'm not talking about that kind of friend. I'm talking about just someone who just you talk to occasionally. I had no problem doing that. I had no problem. And I know people say you shouldn't be friends with your ex narcissist. You shouldn't talk to them. You have to really minimize the time that you speak with them, like a minute or two. That's it. But on a platonic level, I really had no problem talking to my ex narcissist, as long as it was like he respected me and I respected him and we just talked. I really had no problem with that. If he would have came to me as a mature man and said, "I'd really like to talk to you and maybe be friends," I would have said, "Okay, that's really cool. We could be friends." And there would be no need to create fake profiles. There would be no need to make stalking profiles and weird shit on there. There were to make me scared and make me afraid. That wouldn't have happened. I would have just said, okay, we can be friends. Why not? And I'm not talking about friends like the kind of friends that hang out. Like, okay, when Harry Met Sally is a good kind of example of this. They're a man and a woman. They're friends, but they also hang out a lot. They go out to lunch and movies and stuff. I'm not talking about that kind of friend. I'm talking about someone that you just talk to on email once in a while or text message. I never had an issue with that. I never did. Many years ago, when me and him were in contact in 2019, that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to be his friend, and he just wouldn't allow it. He just wouldn't let it be friends. He wouldn't allow it to be really anything because he was really miserable to me and very insulting. Um, so my question I'm putting out there is, what the hell? What's going on? And why there's so many parallels with this person? What's going on with that? Why is this happening? And why couldn't he just come to me or write me an email and say, let's just be friends? Because if you wanted to talk to me just to shoot the breeze, which is what we only do anyway, we're just shooting the breeze, very platonic, I would have done that. And I wouldn't have to be pussyfooting around with making up fake personas. you know, that wouldn't be necessary. Why do things have to be so difficult? Things don't really have to be difficult. And the thing is, when you're talking about a narcissist, it's always like, oh, it's a no no. Like everyone on all the gurus say you can't be friends with your ex narcissist, you can't do that. And it's not even a friend. Maybe it's the wrong label. Maybe what I'm looking for wasn't really a friend. It was just like someone that you could talk to occasionally. Hey, can I have the recipe for this? Hey, what's the name of that place we went to all those years ago? Hey, how did you make that? I really like that. Can you give me that recipe? Things like that. Just very like little things that a person that you knew would just very easily say, sure, here's the recipe. Here, sure, this is the place. Hey, how did we get to this one place? Can you give me directions? And they'd be like, yeah, you go here and here. Just as like someone that you used to know, right? This is not a romantic relationship type thing. This has something to do with romance. It's very innocent and generic and just like, hey, I used to know you. Out of the relationship that we had, let's just kind of a situation that we had, let's just be cordial to each other. Let's just try to be friendly to each other. See, I don't think it's possible. I think that's it. The thing is, that is why he has to go under these personas. Because if he is just himself with me, that miserable person will soon emerge. That miserable person, because I find that when he's these fake people that he tries to pretend to be, he's much nicer to me when he's a fake person. Because when he comes out as himself, he's very miserable. He can be mean, insulting, rude. So it's almost like him being this other person is better. It kind of is better. But it's just crazy. The whole thing is just really blurry and I don't understand it. But I really want to. And I've been trying to understand it for a long time and I just don't get it. And I've tried to put different scenarios with stuff. I've analyzed it a lot, trying to make sense out of it. And nothing really makes sense. The only thing that makes sense is that he goes on there to talk to me. And that's it. He goes on there to talk to me. It's weird. It's strange. It's unusual. We've been broken up for about 10 years already. Yeah, it's been about 10 years. He's given me the silent treatment for 10 years, so for maybe 2 months out of the 10 years. So I don't understand. He knows my feelings. He knows the way I feel about him. He knows the way I feel about a lot of things. And I still stand firm on those feelings. Like, I feel like the narcissists, they sabotage themselves by the things that they do. with silent treatments and all the things that they do to you. They sabotage themselves. Like things didn't have to really go like that with me and him. After we broke up, we could have maybe gotten to be maybe friends, maybe a couple years afterwards. Things didn't have to go so sour between us. Things went sour because of him. And also my distaste for some of the things he did after we broke up. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I'm not gonna lie about that. That was pretty nasty. It is. It is. I'm not gonna change my feelings about that. I mean, it is. It was really. It was. It wasn't good. It wasn't good at all. And I think um he knows that. He knows my distaste for the things he did after we broke up. And I think that could be another reason why he kind of stays away is because of he knows that I don't like it. He knows I don't like it. And other people may not care. Like I said, not every girl is like me. There are some women out there who don't care about your past and don't care the people that you dated in the past. Some people don't give a shit about that stuff. I'll admit I am a very picky person and my standards are really kind of high. They've gotten better though. I'm not gonna lie, they have gotten better, but I still there's certain things I'm not gonna back down on, and that's one of those. So no, yeah, but still, it doesn't. You can still go about things very differently, and I just feel like the way he goes about things is so foreign. It's just so weird. It really is. It's weird. I don't know. I don't know what I'm getting at, guys. I don't even know what I'm even saying anymore. All I'm saying is that dealing with a narcissist on any level is hard. It really is. I'm glad that I don't have to deal with it anymore. I deal with it on my own account, on my own accord, and it's mostly just online that I deal with it. It's only online that I deal with it. And that's only because the fact that, like I said, the experiment that I've been doing, trying to, come to heads or tails about this thing I went through many years ago. But I don't know. Anyway, if anybody understood what I just said, that's great. I don't get it. I don't even know what I say anymore when it comes to this. It's kind of like a big circle of this big question. But I don't understand. I don't understand why narcissists just can't come clean. Why do you got to pussyfoot around, pretending to be other people? Why can't you just be yourself? You know I don't like you. Why do you got to do this? Like, you know the way I feel. I don't know. Apologies really go a long way. I feel like if he just would have apologized to me back in 2019, none of this would have happened. We could have just stayed friends. So, I don't know. That's it.